Hello, good morning everybody, and welcome to another De Montfort University live stream. And today we are going to be looking at Demon Media and making the most of your time at university through the different groups and societies that you can join, Demon Media being just one of them. Hello to everybody joining us today, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. Give us a little wave in the comments, let me know that you are there, and I've pressed all the correct buttons so that we are actually live, because that's always a bit of a worry when I start these things. Let me know what you're up to this afternoon. I appreciate it's Friday, so hopefully we're having a bit of a chill day. Would love to hear from you in the comments before we get started, just as we allow people to start sort of joining us. So a few people joining there on YouTube, and some of us are joining in on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, you're joining us through the Facebook groups, you can obviously drop us a little comment down below just to say hello. If you're on YouTube, or you're actually watching on our sort of Facebook, on our YouTube channel, you can also view all the comments to the side there. If you're on the web page, if you can't see the comments at the minute, if you click through to YouTube, there should be a little link on the video that will take you to our YouTube channel where you can access the comments. Hello, everybody. We've got some people joining us in the comments already. We've got Jade, we've got Kia, Abu. Hello to everybody. Tekith, apologies if I've said that incorrect. Try and get names right this morning. Hello to everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Hopefully it should be a really interesting live stream. So joining me on the stream this morning, I will do some introductions in a moment. We have got some current students who are actually, they're studying with us on a couple of different courses, as well as being key members of Demon Media. So we'll find out a little bit more about that very, very shortly. Hello, Tom. How are you doing? Joining us on YouTube there. So start with some introductions. First of all, my name is Ben. I work as part of the marketing team here at De Montfort University. So I've been running a few of these live streams this week. Some of you may have seen my face already, so apologies for that. Paresh, hello. Philip, hello. Thank you for joining us. Excellent. I think we can make a start. We've got a few viewers kicking off here, which is all good. Yes. So a few years ago, I was actually part of Demon Media, but I'm a bit of an oldie now, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. I'm going to let our current students talk a little bit more about that as the stream goes on. Brilliant. Loads and loads of people joining us in the comments there. If you have any questions throughout the stream at any point, make sure you do drop them in there. We'll try and get to them as the stream goes on. And we also do have a Q&A session towards the end as well. So I'll try and hold some of your questions sort of towards the end as well. And we'll try our best to answer them. So let's try doing some introductions. Let's start speaking to some of the people that are going to be joining me on the live stream. We'll get to our students in just a moment, but we are also joined by the Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Computing Engineering and Media. We have got Sarah Jones joining us on the live stream. Hello, Sarah. How are you this morning? Well, actually, it's the afternoon.
It's afternoon. No, I've had my lunch. I'm very well, thank you. Good to be able to meet prospective students in this way, a little bit differently to how we do things normally, but really exciting nonetheless. I hope we get some good questions in as we talk about Demon Media.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So we're going to be finding out a little bit more from Sarah later on about why these sort of student groups are so important and make up really part of the student experience. So I think that's going to be really interesting as the session goes on. I'm going to go over and introduce you to some of our current students that are actually part of the Demon Media group. First of all, I'm going to jump over to Lernie. Hello, Lernie.
Hello. So I'm Lernie. I'm good, thanks. I'm a third-year media production student, and I am part of Demon Media. I get up to a lot of different things within there. I'm mostly involved with Demon TV, but I do get involved with Demon FM and the Demon magazine, which are also very key parts to Demon Media.
Thank you very much. Also joining Lernie on the stream is Alice. Hello, Alice.
Hiya, quite similar to Lernie, I'm a third-year media production student, and I also do a lot more things with Demon TV than the other strands, but I've been involved with all of them since like my first year. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Alice. And last but certainly not least, we've got Morgana. Hello.
Hi, my name is Morgana. I'm a journalism and international relations student, and I'm mostly involved with the Demon magazine, but I've done some things with Demon TV as well.
Excellent stuff. Thank you so much, everybody here on the stream this morning. So like I say, if you do have any questions for our guests here over this afternoon, I think I've said morning a couple of times now. You can tell my A bit confused at the minute. But if you do have any questions this afternoon, do make sure you pop those in the comments at any point, whether they do be for Sarah or for one of our current students. Now, I think a big key part of this stream is going to be talking about one of those fantastic student groups, as we mentioned, Demon Media. So I think, first of all, I'm actually going to hand over to Lernie just to tell us a little bit more about what Demon Media actually is. So, over to yourself.
So Demon Media is, as Ben said, student groups here at De Montfort University. So it's basically a student media group where whether you're a media student, journalism, psychology, science, any kind of subject are able to get involved. So if it's your key area you're wanting to go into, or just something you want to do a little bit of fun on the side, then everyone has that opportunity. So within Demon Media, we have a few different strands, as we like to call them. We've got Demon FM, which you can see next to me here. That is our student radio station, which students on media and audio courses get to present live on there. But if you're not one of those courses and have always wanted to talk about anything really, you can do a show about cats, about your favorite kinds of music, then DMFM is a great platform for you to share all of those amazing skills and get to learn some new things really. We've also got Demon, is this the Demon magazine? Yes, this is the Demon magazine that's coming up, where we've got a magazine that gets printed and goes all around campus and also gets online. So if you want to show your parents what you've been designing or writing for the articles, then that's quite easy to do. So within the Demon, you can get involved with writing different articles, interviewing people. If you want to have a little bit more of an artistic route, you can do photography or designing for them. There's sort of endless opportunities to get involved with the magazine. And I only really got involved this year, but it's a lot of fun. Then finally, we've also got Demon TV, which, as Alice and I said, it's the one we're sort of most heavily involved in, where you can get involved with filming, doing sound. If you want to make graphics like you saw just then you absolutely can. And if you don't have any of the skills from anything that Demon Media does before you join uni, it's a great chance to be able to learn them or potentially teach us a thing or two, because although we've been in Demon for a fair few years now and we have quite a lot of skills, there's always things that we can learn from other people.
Thank you very much for that. I think as well as that, I think we could possibly just talk about a little bit about what you guys kind of more heavily kind of get involved with in terms of Demon Media. And I know, Lernie, you sent over some photos. So I'll jump over to those photos just now while you guys sort of talk a little bit through that. Should I jump over to Alice first of all?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of what I get up to mainly in Demon is, predominantly Demon TV. So in that I will be maybe doing sort of like editing of videos. I do quite a lot of filming. There's me and Lernie there at Freshers this year. And we spent the whole of Freshers Week filming and trying to make some sort of like cool things to get people involved and see what sort of things we get up to. And when it comes to sort of like FM, I managed to do a lot of stuff with the radio. I used to have a radio show, which was quite fun to do. And I did that every single week. And it was just a nice way to sort of like relax and also try something different. And in the magazine, I've also had loads of different opportunities to sort of go out and interview people and sort of write articles about that. And it gives you a lot of different skills that I would never have got if I didn't get involved. It really sort of pushed me out of my comfort zone for sure. So yeah. And it sort of led me to do quite a few things. So I went and did some work for BBC Radio Leicester, where I got to present with them and do sort of like a radio show on a BBC platform, which was really, really cool and something that I'll never get to do again. So probably anyway. But without the student radio, I would never have been able to do something as cool as that. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Morgana, similar sort of experience for yourself, because I know that you've been heavily involved with the magazine as well. Would you like to touch upon that?
Yeah, sure. I'm only a first-year student. I just finished first year, so I don't have as much experience as Alice and Lernie, but I've been involved with the magazine mainly throughout the year, and it's been great fun. I tried to write an article for each month, each issue, and sometimes I wrote for the online platform as well. Then when we had the elections for the Students' Union, I co-hosted the pre-show with another member of Demon Media, and it was streamed and it was produced and all by Demon TV. and it was a great experience. And I look forward to do more things next year.
Perfect. I think that's a really fantastic thing that we've touched upon there. So I think I kind of, just to give people a bit more of an idea, because I know that we've already had a comment come through from Frederick, who's just asked, is DMU Media a club? And I kind of guess it is really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you go to uni, you've got a lot of different societies that you can look at, and DMU Media is one of them. So I guess essentially you could call it, it's like an after-school club, because you do it outside of when you're doing your like uni work. So yeah, I guess it's a club. Like we meet up, have meetings about the sorts of things we want to get involved in, the sorts of projects people want to do, and we have socials as well. So it's not just constantly making media content all the time. We can sort of go and have a chat with people, get to know people a bit better. So kind of is.
Yeah. Alice, did you want to add something to that?
No, that's pretty much it. But yeah, we are a society. We're a media student group, so it doesn't sort of like have anything to really to do with your degree, which is kind of great because it means that you get to learn these skills without the pressure of being marked or anything like that. You sort of can chill out and just learn something solely in a very relaxed environment, which is quite nice. Yeah.
Lovely. I think that also kind of brings us on to a question that we actually had submitted through the booking form. So if you did submit some of your questions through the form before the stream, I've got some of those in front of me as well. So we'll try and do our best to answer as many of those as well. But one of the questions we had from Maisie was, is DMU Media only ran by students? And in what ways can students get involved? So Morgana, you touched upon how you were involved with obviously writing every month, and you got involved with the election stream. But I wonder whether maybe starting with you, Morgana, you could give some more examples of things that people can get involved in.
So DMU Media is run by students, and you can, as I said, write for the magazine or do live streams, shows, anything with Demon TV, or you can have your own radio shows with Demon FM. It's very varied, and you don't need to be in a journalism course or media course or anything, as the other girls said. But yeah, I'm sure you'll find something to get involved with.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you want to add anything else to that.
No, I think so. I think Alice looks like she's chomping at the bit there to jump in. So maybe we could find out about maybe some more of the sort of projects that students can get involved in. So say I'm a new student, I could definitely pass off as a fresher. Don't laugh. So what sort of things, if I was to join DMU Media, what could I sort of hope to get involved in? And I'll start over with Alice.
Yeah, sure. So there's so many different things. One that we do consistently every year is a thing called RAG, which is Raise and Give, where all of the different strands in DMU Media sort of come together and we all work to create sort of like a stream or something for charity. And we tend to do something like a 24-hour stream. So in that you can do stuff like presenting, you can do sort of producing and all different things like that. And that's something really fun to get involved with because everyone just sort of comes together and does stuff together. Gosh, those pictures are old. Yeah, so that's me and Lenny presenting elections, which is our first year, and we'd never done anything like it before. And they just sort of trusted us and they helped us along the way to go. Didn't really know about presenting before then, and now we're quite confident to sort of come on a stream, for example, and sort of talk. And I don't think I would have done something like that before. And yeah, so it's all run by students. So after you've done sort of stuff in your first year, you can start to take on things sort of like management roles is what we call them. So you can sort of like maybe manage the social media of a certain strand or the whole of the strands, and you could maybe do some producing and help create shows. And it's really nice to have those sort of titles on your name. So I was a producer in my first year of the radio, and in my second year I became a producer in TV, and it's a really nice thing to put on your CV as well. And it's just a lot of fun because you can sort of do what you want with it. There's no sort of like guidelines.
Yeah,
I think one thing to add is that also we have a lot of projects that current members want to do, but if a fresher comes in and they want to do a radio show about a certain topic or a podcast, or they have a short film that like you've always wanted to create, this could be a great opportunity for you to do that, because we have a lot of members who have skills and know sort of about how those kinds of productions would go. So they may be able to give you some advice and give you a few members of crew to make your like short film or whatever it is you're wanting to create come to life.
Perfect. Thank you. It gives a good sort of overview of actually what sort of things you can get involved in. And as Morgana said, obviously you can get involved with writing for the magazine, even if perhaps you've never done it before. And as the other girls just said, obviously, again, you can make your own shows, do your own TV productions. So I'm going to come to you guys with this great script that I'm writing at the minute. I'm hoping to get it produced by DMTV.
Okay.
So we've had a couple of questions again through on YouTube, just sort of tying to that. So I'll be joining next term. Do you welcome sort of mature students into DMU Media?
Definitely. Yeah. We've had a lot of, like, it's not restricted to, you have to be a certain age to be able to get involved. As long as you have a passion for wanting to make things or for wanting to learn a new skill, anyone can join, no matter age, course. There's nothing that will like stop you from joining. The way to find people is probably through Freshers Week. DMU Media are everywhere in their Red Demon merch, so they're quite easy to find. Always welcoming people. Like one of our friends is a mature student. I think he was probably a bit worried as well when he started, but there's nothing that impacts it. And once you get involved, it doesn't make a difference.
Lovely. Just another question that we've had. So thank you very much, Tom, for that question. Shadrach has asked, do you get to sort of film festivals and outdoor activities? I know there is a thing called NASTA and SRA for the TV and radio guys. So would we touch on that slightly?
Yeah. So in terms of like sort of festivals and outdoor activities, we sort of get involved in. So NASTA is the National Association of Student Television, and that means that we can mix with loads of different student TV stations from around the country. SRA is Student Radio Association, so that's quite similar. I believe the magazine one is called SPA, which is Student Publication Association. So we have all those three different sort of national organizations where we can go out and meet other people, go to conferences, learn sort of things through that. And we also get to enter in for awards, which is really, really fun because it means that we can sort of show what we've been recognized for, and things like that. We also go out and about filming different things and interviewing at different things. So in Leicester, we have the Leicester Comedy Festival, and we try to heavily get involved with that, filming interviews with people. FM does an outside broadcast with different comedians and talking to people. So yeah, we do really try to get involved out and about in the community, but also across the country with different student stations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Shadrach, for that question. The last one that we've just had here from Amy, I know we've kind of touched on it already, but Amy may have only just joined us. So can you join if you don't have any previous experience? So from either kind of perspective, what would you sort of give advice with regards to that?
I mean, so I didn't have any experience when I joined Demon Media, and it was quite intimidating at first because everyone seemed very into what they were doing and very aware. Because obviously they've been there for a long time, at least longer than me. But everyone is really helpful, and they always try to make you feel comfortable with anything you are doing and offer you the support you need. And also they help you with technical things that you might not be very familiar with, but also they are very friendly. And for instance, in socials and stuff like that, they are very welcoming. So I don't think you need any experience to join.
Perfect. And from the TV and radio side for Lenny and Alice?
Yeah, so I actually hadn't ever edited on Adobe. So Adobe is something we usually use to edit. I'd never edited with that before, and I needed to use it for my course as well. But luckily I'd got involved with TV, and there were so many people there that sat with me and taught me how to use things that it meant that I was ready and prepared to use it for my course as well. And now in my third year, I can't imagine not being able to edit with it. So it's quite cool because I now know so much as a result of joining, and I didn't really know anything. I didn't know how to use cameras that we were using or anything like that. But you just sort of like, if you go in and you're willing to learn, then you can learn so much. It's quite scary. And I didn't really know anything about radio either. But Lenny, do you want to talk maybe a little bit about the radio side and how you learn things through that?
Yeah, so before I'd come to uni, I'd never touched on audio. I'd never sort of looked at a radio studio much. I'd heard it from when I was in the car, but that was my only experience with it. When I joined in first year, I started to have a radio show with Alice and a couple other people from Demon. And we just sort of grew from there. I managed to be a producer for radio in the first year. And I've been able to get involved with podcasts, helping create assets for radio. And also it meant that, as Alice said, for editing, when it went to going and doing the radio module on my course, it meant that I knew what the studios were. So when it came to doing my coursework, it wasn't as daunting because I had already had a lot of time and experience in those kinds of areas. And it just made it all a lot easier. And then also we ended up doing a show with BBC Radio Leicester. And to say I'd never touched anything to do with radio beforehand, shows that you absolutely don't need any experience before joining Demon. It's a great place to start.
Absolutely. And I think hopefully that's highlighted it to Travis, who said, would you say it's an enjoyable experience? I think it definitely is, from what you guys have said. Lots of fond memories and stuff. So maybe we'll touch back on that and some of your favourite moments from Demon Media a little bit later on. So thank you to you guys for talking a bit about that and just giving everybody a little bit of an insight. What I would really like to do now is actually bring Sarah in to talk a little bit about why that's quite important, about the sort of the extra experience that you get from that outside of the course, and why it's good to get involved in societies. So Sarah, I'm going to pass over to yourself.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I can't go on enough about how important taking advantage of all of those opportunities that you have at university is. So you arrive on day one and you're overwhelmed because there's so much to choose from. But it really is important to try and navigate all those different clubs and societies. It's really the only time in your life that you can think about jumping from cheerleading to building things in engineering to running your own TV station. And you can do all of it, which is really important. Not only does it have that benefit for your course, you get to take ideas you're building on in your course and put it into practice more often than you might normally. But you get to meet so many new people, and that's really, really important. And also working with so many different people. So it gives you all of those skills that you're really going to need when you graduate. And what's really important is thinking when you come to university, when are you going to finish and what are you going to do? And that's the big question that you're asked all the time. So you need to fill up your CV with so much stuff. I'm Deputy Dean in the Faculty of Computing Engineering and Media now. But before that, I used to work in television. I spent 10 years in TV. So I love talking about student media. And I think for me, I only got my jobs in television because I'd worked so hard at university to take advantage of all of those opportunities, all those different societies that you get to join, meeting new people that then become really good contacts later on down the line. So yeah, really, really important. And I do want to correct what Alice said before, because she said when she did her BBC radio show, there would probably be the only time that she would do that. And I'm sure it won't be, because the Demon guys are so good. They'll be able to be seen and heard and read all of their work in media for years and years to come.
That's amazing. So big advocate for societies and joining social groups and things like that at university from Sarah there. So that's fantastic. From you guys, sort of touching on what Sarah's just talked about, have you got any additional experience from those sort of groups that you've been involved in? So is there anything else you can touch on? We've obviously mentioned the BBC Radio Leicester stuff that you've been involved in, but is there anything else that you can think of?
Yeah, so after being in part of Demon Media, you also get to know a lot of the people that are involved, because a lot of media is people you know, and a lot of opportunities can come from that. So I made friends with quite a lot of people, and some of the people that had already left university, and I got suggested by one of them and a current student to work for this company called ESL. So ESL is the esports league in the UK, and they do massive esports live streams, and I got the opportunity to go and work for them as a runner and then as a stage manager, which is such a cool experience. I definitely wouldn't have done anything like that if I hadn't met those people and learned my experiences through Demon. So when doing that, I got to basically manage people going on stage during the stream. I got to sort out what the stage looks like to help make sure it was all correct, and basically working under some really cool people and making really cool connections. And that was so much fun. Like, I hope I get to do it again soon. But that's something that I don't think I would ever have an opportunity for if I didn't make the most of stuff outside of my course as well.
Amazing. And Morgana, how would you say that you being, obviously you've been at the university for a year, how would you say that's kind of helped you and supported you with your sort of course studies?
So as a foreign student, I think it was really important to develop my English skills. It's a very good thing that you have an outlet where you can write articles for people to read and have that sort of experience, because your course only pushes you to do so much, and it's not enough to make you stand apart from other applicants for future jobs. So it's really cool that you get the opportunity to try and experience that and do more than you're asked for and go the extra mile to achieve your goals, I think.
Yeah. And Learning, do you have anything to add to that? Any other experiences from the sort of working side that sort of supports you with the course that you've gained through DMU Media?
Yeah, so I think one of the key things that I've got from DMU, apart from the actual like media side, is like how to work with different people and get my creativity flowing more. And if I didn't have those skills, I probably wouldn't have talked to as many people on my course, because I can be a bit of a nervous person and not very going at times. So I think DMU really helped me sort of grow that and grow my like team working skills and timekeeping and being able to keep to deadlines and things, which will definitely help me when I get into the real working world.
Amazing. Just a quick question that we've had come through. I know there's a couple of questions that have come through there. So we've had one from Lisa. We're going to touch on that in a few moments, Lisa, if that's okay. But just while we're on the topic, one from Ben here that says, do you let people create podcasts to put on DMU Radio? And I imagine that's quite relevant at the minute with the lockdown happening.
Yeah, it's really relevant right now because we can't actually get into the studio because that would be very unsafe. So what we are doing is they are creating even more podcasts than they ever have before. It was a new thing that they've started doing this year, and they've created so many podcasts, and it's basically just anywhere for you to express yourself. And they will teach you how to edit it, so you can do it all yourself, or they can help you along the way as well. And when we have blank spaces in the radio, if someone's not in the studio, then they will also play those podcasts out live and overnight, and also on their platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I believe it's on all of them, and it can be literally about anything you want. So right now they're doing a podcast called Weekly Wonder. So every Wednesday they bring out a podcast about sort of the experiences that people are going through right now, and everyone works on it together from home, which is really nice.
Amazing. So I can bring you my podcast of all the YouTube videos that I've watched during lockdown. Just to keep people educated about my watch habits. No, that's really good. I think that ties into that. I know later on in the script we were going to talk a little bit about that, but while it's kind of coming up at the minute, Morgana, what sort of things have the DMU been up to in the current lockdown?
So I kept writing for the online platform, I didn't write as much as I probably could have because of deadlines of university, but you can still write for the online platform because you can do it from wherever.
Amazing. And I'll try and pop a link to the online content in the comments very, very shortly. But if you go to DMU Media on dim-media.co.uk, it's good that I remember the link still. You should be able to see all of the articles that the DMU are currently publishing. And also, I think you can also find a digital copy of the magazine that normally gets printed. So you can see how you guys are still kind of doing stuff during the lockdown, which is absolutely fantastic. And finally, Lernie, with regards to TV during the lockdown, now you mentioned RAG earlier. How is that going ahead this year?
So initially it was meant to take place on the 9th of May, which it is still going to happen. It's going to be slightly different than it was because obviously we can't all meet up and do the live stream how we were initially planning. So a few things have had to change, but we're going to be doing a live stream all from our homes, so it's all safe and everything. We're going to do a couple of live shows, maybe even a little pub quiz, which I know a lot of people have been enjoying. over lockdown. So if you want to take part in it and see a little bit of what Demon TV can create, then you can go onto our YouTube or our Facebook, which is just Demon TV. If you search and you'll find it. And that's on Saturday, the 9th of May, that we're doing that. So we're still working towards creating content for that. And I'm actually going to be filming a bit of a video for it later today. So I'm excited and hopefully it goes well. But apart from that, we're also making some vlogs and things. So if you want to see what the life of a student is like, then we've got some quite good vlogs on there from how to work from home.
Awesome. I was just trying to find the Demon TV YouTube channel, but I was frantically Googling there, trying to find the right link. You see, I can tell I was super prepared.
I think it's YouTube/Demon TV 2, because
It's youtube.com.
already taken.
It's youtube.com/Demon TV. We can get to it from Demon TV actually now.
Okay.
It's been fixed.
All changed.
There is also a link on that website as well, I know. And when I was looking at Demon TV the other day, I know there was a workout video from Learning on there, I believe. So
not my finest hour, but I tried.
Excellent stuff. So that's really, really good stuff that we heard from there. Just quickly, I want to bring Sarah back in as well in just a moment, just to talk about what other things that students from the sort of computer engineering and media faculties and courses can kind of get involved in outside of that. And then I might bring you guys back in again, just talk about your own experiences. But Sarah, what other opportunities can students get involved in it? A bit like DMU Media, just to kind of broaden their horizons.
There's so many. I don't even know where to begin. Students are so lucky in many ways, and I usually say how tough students have it because they're working in these crazy, crazy environments all the time with so much pressure on them. But in terms of opportunities at university, at DMU, we have so many opportunities to enhance our student experience, which is really key when it comes to looking for a job, which is something I will always bang on about. There's two really great things I think that DMU offers. DMU Works. If you search for the hashtag DMU Works, you'll find lots and lots about it. And this is about getting you ready for employment or further study. And we have great success in this. Things like mentoring, finding those people in jobs that you aspire to have, talking with those people, building those networks, CV clinics, interview preparations, all those kinds of things, which are really important. And also opportunities for work at the moment, and opportunities for different kinds of employment, gap years. Maybe you've got a great idea for a business, and this is your time now to start it, which is really good. And the other thing, which I absolutely love, is hashtag again, DMU Global. And this gives students a chance to take part in academic field trips all over the world, to engage in some really, really great experiences, again, building those networks and traveling to incredible places. There's been some amazing things from the media students where they've gone all over the world and made films in all kinds of places, which have then gone on to be really successful in film festivals as well, which is a great addition to just that normal benefit of going on trips. So DMU Works and DMU Global's two incredible initiatives that every student coming to DMU really needs to take advantage of.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was really great. And I think, actually, if I'm correct in saying, Alice and Lernie, you have been on a global trip, I believe?
Yeah,
Yes,
we did. In our first year, we went to Tokyo, which was super cool. We went around, actually, it was today, 2 years ago we went, and it was just us two on our own. Like, there were some other students going, but we booked our flights and our hotels and stuff ourselves, and it was so cool. We got to go to things like Fuji TV and look at things like that. We also there was a day we had free, so Lenny and I went to Tokyo Disney, which was super cool. Don't think I'll ever go there again, but it was so good. And because DMU give you a bursary towards that, it sort of meant that I could afford to go. Lenny, did you want to talk a little bit about how that bursary sort of works?
Yeah, so basically DMU Global, in order to help students be able to get these experiences of different cultures, but also what their industry is like in the different cultures, they're able to offer slight bursaries for students. So you can get a bursary for whether it's an academic trip or a social trip. I think you can do one academic and one social trip a year. So if you want to do one with a society as well as a course-led one, then you can. But they do different bursaries as to whether it's a sort of a European trip or if it's a little bit further afield. So because we were going all the way to Tokyo, we were able to get £400, which if we didn't have that money, we probably wouldn't have been able to afford to go because students don't have the most amount of money. Yeah, that's basically how it works. And because you're booking your own flights, they give you the money, and then you're able to spend that on your travel to get there, your expenses while you're there, sort of whatever you need, really. Obviously, it doesn't cover it all, but it is definitely a big help.
Amazing. Morgana, have you been on any of these trips particularly?
Yeah, I went to Prague with all first year, and I think there was second and third year as well, students from media courses. We went on February and was really cool because we got to see the main TV stations, film studios, and Radio Europe, Radio Free Europe, I think it's the name. And it was so cool to see the professional side of our courses in a way, and see what we're working towards, kind of. And also we did have an extra day, free day, so we could visit and walk around the city center and get to know the country a little bit more, which was very cool.
Cool, good stuff. And I think you can find a little bit more about DMU Global if you go to the link that, again, I've just popped in the comments. So if at any point you want to go and find out a little bit more about that, you can head over there. And that will just show you just some of the amazing countries and amazing trips that our students have been on that Sarah talked about a little bit earlier, and how sort of beneficial that they were to those students in terms of just giving them those new experiences. And hopefully, as you've heard from these guys, they were absolutely fantastic. And I'm a little bit jealous, and I really want to go on holiday now. So last couple of bits in terms of before we sort of jump into a bit more of a Q&A session, because I know we've had a few questions coming up, but really I wanted to find out maybe what your sort of best experiences from DMU Media have been thus far. Now I know, Alice and Lernie, this is your final year, so it's the end of DMU Media for you guys, but so far what have you been your top experiences, do you think?
I think one of my favourite ones, it's difficult to choose a favourite one because there's been so many, but I think one of them has to have been in first year, and it was the one where I really realised that I'm part of DMU Media and I'm really able to get involved in a lot of different things, because there was this event called Faculty Championships, which is not the same as Sports Day, but I compared it to a university version of a Sports Day because it was all the different faculties competing against each other there was some sporting events. I think there was also like a pie competition of some sort. But I was able to do a roaming camera, so that meant I was able to go to loads of different sort of areas and get all of like the key shots, and it was so exciting. And to know that they trusted me when I was only in my first year, I was like, wow, okay. And I think it was the first time that I'd sort of properly got the buzz of being at an event, so it has to be one of my favourite ones.
Amazing. Alice, have you thought of one?
Yeah, I think I've got one. So there's so much because I've been involved since my first year, and I've really tried to try every single thing I could. I think one of my favourite things is there is a DMU Media Awards, which we do at the end of every year, and we put it on ourselves. And this year we're still doing it. We're doing it online, and it's just an opportunity for our members and our management to sort of submit things that we think we've done really well in, and then we get some of our alumni to judge it and tell us whose they thought was best. And last year I was quite lucky because I won quite a few awards, and it was really, really fun to be there and like get this sort of feedback from your alumni that are currently working in the industry and build those connections. So there was Tom and Claire from Capital, and they were judging a couple of the radio awards. So they were there, so you got to go and talk to them. And there was people like our friends that are working sort of like for ESL, like I said earlier, she was judging one of the awards, and it was really nice to sort of build those connections and have that sort of social aspects to building up to your future as well. That was probably my favourite.
Amazing. And Morgana, have you got a particular highlight? I know I put you guys on the spot a little bit there.
well, this is again only my first year, so there's still a lot more to come, hopefully. But I think the first thing that popped into my mind was the first meeting for the members we had. They had a meeting with the heads of all 3 strands, and I looked around the room and there were so many people starting like me, and it was really exciting because I mean, it's a place where you're like everybody else. Everyone is just starting this new experience in this new city, and it was very good because you didn't felt alone. You didn't feel alone. And after that, we went to a pub and we had a bit of a get to know each other, and we were in a circle and we were asking questions and introducing ourselves, and it was really nice. And I think that's when it hit me like, oh my god, I'm part of this huge student group, and it's going to be very good. It's promising.
That's good. And I think one of the questions that we did have come through the form was, you know, how do you make friends at university? And I think that's quite a big concern for a lot of students. So I think from you guys' perspective, and I think something that Sarah mentioned earlier is actually, you know, joining groups is a good way of making friends. And, you know, it's the easiest way to kind of make friends outside of the course, outside of the accommodation. So no, it's all good fun. And I made some of my sort of best friends when I was part of DMU Media. And you'll be pleased to know, Alice, that I am also a judge this year for your DMU Media Awards. I noticed you left me out there.
Sorry.
I know I don't work for Capital, but you know.
I apologise.
That's okay. I don't mind. We have had a comment from Josh who said he can't wait to come to DMU next year. So hopefully Josh will join DMU Media and be part of the force that is DMU Media with your, how many members now? 300 members?
I think we have around 200 at the moment. So we're quite a big society.
It is. It's an absolute force of a society, so it's well worth joining. I think what we'll do is I'm going to bring Sarah just back into the stream as well, and hopefully we can answer some of the questions that people have had. Hello, Sarah, you're back in the room.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of questions regarding obviously the starting situation in September. Again, we can't go too much into that on this stream, obviously due to time, but we did have somebody that said that they had a bit of information they wanted regarding their undergraduate degree. So this was from Lisa earlier. Sarah, just sort of best advice with regards to starting this year?
Yeah, I'd make sure that you look on our website. We've got a really, really great microsite for all of our current students, but also our prospective students as well, and our applicants. And this goes through lots and lots of information about starting. And we don't know what it's going to be like, but we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we do deliver such a great student experience. And you get to take advantage of all of those opportunities. And it's great hearing how DMU Media have been jumping in and adapting all of their content in the current scenarios that we're facing as well. So that's really good. But yeah, keep an eye on the microsite.
Perfect. Thank you so much. A couple of questions that we had through the booking form as well, which is really cool. I know that we touched on this a little bit earlier, but we had a question that said, I'm not doing a media course. Can I still join DMU Media? So Alice, I don't know whether you just wanted to touch on this very quickly again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you do not have to do a media course to join DMU Media. It's just I was on a media course, so I was naturally drawn to joining. But a lot of my best friends don't even study media. One of my housemates, he studies pharmacy, and he used to run the radio station. So you do not have to be on media at all. It's just about what you want to learn and try out. Perfect.
Does anybody else have anything they would like to sort of add to that in terms of getting involved with that outside of the courses? No? That's absolutely fine, not a problem. The next one we had, and again, I'm going to put Sarah on the spot ever so slightly again. I'm starting a degree in September. Do you have any advice on how I can prepare and what I can sort of be doing between now and September?
Yeah, so it's really interesting at the moment for media students, and the biggest thing that I tell to prospective students all the time is to watch, read, absorb the media all the time, become really, really familiar with everything that's going on, and especially how people are adapting. So we're seeing some really innovative uses of the technology to take big live magazine television shows and having them all being done virtually. So really familiarize yourself and think how you could then be contributing to advances in media, how things might change, how you might adapt. And thinking about that now is really going to help you when you start the course, and also help you in the long term as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And it's like I say, again, the sort of current situation is a common fear amongst students. So it's great to know that, again, there's lots out there and that advice is really worthwhile at this stage. Some more that we had through from the booking form. Again, I think we did touch on Freshers Week earlier, but how do you actually sign up for these extracurricular activities? We talked about DMU Media. We know there's lots and lots of other groups out there, but what advice would you give to students that are hoping to start with us in September in terms of getting involved with those different groups?
I'd say the best way is to probably have a look before you arrive. If you go onto the De Montfort Students' Union website, then there's a section that's called activities, I believe. And then within that, you can browse all the societies. So that's a good way to get an idea of the kinds of societies you might want to join before you arrive. But in terms of when you're actually here, there's normally a freshers fair, which has got all of the different societies that are there. So you can go to their stalls, you can see how it'll talk to them, see what sorts of things they get up to, what the society is about. And they quite often will have a give it a go day, so you can go along, see if it's actually something you want to get involved in. And if it's not, then there's no pressure to get involved. But if it is, you can sign up then and get involved with everything they possibly have.
Lovely, thank you so much. So that question was from Ramsey on our booking form. Similar sort of question from Gerpel, who says, I've not been to an open day and just wants to know what societies are joined. So hopefully Learny has answered that question as well. Have a look on the website, and also if and when our Freshers Week sort of takes place, hopefully you'll be able to sort of meet lots of the sports teams and societies that way. There's a question here about the sort of jump to university and how difficult it is jumping from A levels into being a university student, being able to manage your time between your course and society. Who would like to sort of jump onto that? Alice, I'll pass over to you.
Yeah, so I would say if you did a jump from GCSE to A level, it is actually, I think, a lot easier. Going from A level to university, I think, is a much easier transition. Generally, it depends on your course, but for me, I had less contact hours, which means I had more independent time to work on my stuff. And I think the best part about a university degree is that at the start of the year, you get told what your assessments are and when they're going to happen, so you can really plan your time out around that, basically. So I don't think it's actually that much of a difficult jump. I think the hardest thing is just getting used to living on your own if you've never done that before and you're going to move out. You're sort of managing it around there. But if you did the jump for GCSE to A level, you can definitely do this. I can assure you that.
And Alice, just while I've got you here, how did you sort of manage your time between your course and your society?
Yeah, so I was very heavily involved in the society from the beginning. So it did take up quite a bit of my time. I think the most important thing was that although do my work, so I sort of gave myself the positive thing of that if I do my work, then I can go and enjoy the society a little bit more without the thought of that I have work to do. So I think that was kind of the way that I sort of worked around it. And once you've done like the first couple of assessments, it gives you a bit of time to realize how long it's going to take you to do things. So I think that probably is the best way to do it. That's how I did it.
Perfect. Same question to Learny and Morgana. Do you have anything to add on to what Alice has said?
Yeah, I think a key thing that I found really helpful, as Alice said, if you've done the jump from GCSE to A level, I was quite similar. I found the jump to university from A level wasn't too difficult. But I think a key thing that helped me was having a planner, because that meant I could plan out when I needed to do simple things like change my bed sheets and hoover the floor. But it also meant that I could sort of assign my priorities of when my deadlines were, what work I needed to get done, so that I knew that I'd have enough time to do my coursework while still being able to enjoy society activities.
Perfect. And Morgana, just jump over to you if you've got anything else to add.
For me, it was different because, as I said before, I'm not from the UK. So in my home country, in Portugal, we don't have A level or GCSEs or anything like that. But the jump, it wasn't too hard because, as they said before, you have less lectures. I mean, timetable lectures, so you have more time to plan your week and do whatever independent study you need to do. And yeah, I think overall it works out fine.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that one. Just having a look to make sure we haven't got any more questions from my list just here. Oh, I've got a couple more here that I've got from the booking form. I appreciate we've only got a few minutes left. So one that has come up in regards to actually, and again in the lockdown, just can I get a visual tour of things like the accommodation at DMU? So that was from Shakim. So as we've talked about, there's a lot of resources that are available online. And what I'll do is I will pop in the comments a link to our virtual open day that will give you a bit of a tour of the campus and a bit of a tour of the accommodation. And I believe that is also hosted by Lernie, who is in the stream with us in a minute. So you'll find Lernie on lots and lots of the links that I've posted today. So if you were interested in finding out about that. And I think other than that, that is pretty much everything. Just to check in here. Shadrach, I appreciate you've asked a question there, a bit short on time, but I'll give you some links in a moment of where you'll be able to find that information. Oh, final one from Josh Hutchinson. What is it like moving into accommodation with people you don't know? I think we can very quickly just answer this one while we're here as well. What's it like moving into accommodation?
I was really scared because I had this assumption in my head that I was going to be like best friends with my housemates, and unfortunately that doesn't happen to me. We didn't not get along, it's just we didn't have a lot in common, and that wasn't really a problem. We just sort of like kept to ourselves. We all cleaned the kitchen when we needed to. I luckily had my own toilet, so I didn't have to worry about that. I would say if you go into it with an open mind, but don't have this assumption that you're all going to be best friends, because that's what I thought. And it was a bit sad that we didn't, but it wasn't the end of the world. And I mean, I think as well, you're all adults when you move into there. So you will have an appreciation that everyone needs their own space and you all have to tidy up after themselves. And they've never really had too many issues. But yeah, it was terrifying before I got there.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll remove that banner there as well. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to accommodations? No?
I think just make sure you keep your space clean, then everyone else will probably hopefully do the same.
I think that's fair. And with all the equipment and stuff that I imagine you guys are carrying, I bet that comes with the territory a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So from the stream today, Sarah, is there anything else that you would like to just add on to this, speaking to some of our potential prospective students while we just towards the end of the live stream?
No, I do understand how worrying it is. It's a really anxious time for everybody. It is around this time of the year, every year anyway. But when you've got a pandemic going on, I really appreciate how anxious it is. So do keep in touch with us. Our admissions team are great. There's lots of resources online and we're there to help you and to support you to get into your studies at DMU.
Excellent stuff. Thank you so much. And to my DMU Media guys, do you have anything else you want to add as we sort of wrap up this live stream?
I think just take every experience and opportunity you can, because although it may feel like you don't have enough time, if you can make the time for it, you won't regret it. And the experiences you get are definitely sort of like irreplaceable memories. Like you'll have them for life.
Amazing. Alice and Morgana?
You go.
Thank you. I would say it's very easy to get a little overwhelmed because there's so much to choose from, but just keep calm and try to remind yourself that everyone else is in the same position as you. So just talk to people and do your research, and don't do it by bits. Don't try and absorb everything at the same time.
Thank you so much. Well, I think we can safely end the live stream there, having sort of answered quite a lot of questions and talked quite a lot about DMU Media today. So thank you so much for you guys for joining. Thank you to Sarah, Lernie, Alice and Morgana for joining here, answering lots of questions and talking about the sort of extra experiences and extra opportunities that students have whilst they are at university. And like I say, if you are joining us in September, we hope that DMU Media is potentially one of those opportunities that you will get involved in, whether it's you want to write for the magazine, you want to present on radio, or even make your own TV show. I'm writing that script now, by the way, guys. Expect it in an email.
Sounds good.
Right.
So just a couple of links that I've got here. So we are going to be running future live streams. So there's going to be lots and lots of other stuff that you can get yourself sort of involved in. You can ask lots of questions there. So if you are on our website at the moment, so that's dmumedia.ac, not DMU Media, I'll get the right link. It's been a long week. dmu.ac.uk/live streams. There's some more live streams going on next week, which you can tune into, and you can find those on here. There is also going to be a virtual open day in July. So again, you can find the links to that on our website. And again, that's going to have similar sort of live streams to this, be very informative around the sort of courses that we have to offer. So you'll be able to check all of that out. We also do have a virtual tour, as I mentioned earlier, which I have just posted in the comments as well, which is at this link. So if you do want to actually have a look around our campus and again, look around the accommodation, that is a fantastic link to jump onto. And again, if you do want to find out more about some of our societies, you can go to the Students' Union website and actually find out a little bit more about DMU Media and just how to sign up. So all of that information is available on those websites. And as Sarah said, if you are joining us, there's lots of information there about obviously the current admissions process and application process. So we can hope to answer that one as well. The final link that I have for you, which again, I'm popping in the chat. So again, apologies. I hope I'm not told off by YouTube for spamming. The last one I would just want to highlight to people is our student chat functionality. And I believe, Alice, are you one of our uni buddies at the minute?
I am, yes.
So if you... Oh, go on, Alice, sorry.
I'm the media production one, so, but I can talk about media in general, yeah.
Perfect. So if you have any questions about what it's like to be a current student, you want to have a chat with Alice about DMU Media, or you can actually speak to myself and actually find out more about the sort of admissions process. If you have any general queries, do go to dmu.ac.uk/student chat, and we'll try and answer our questions through there. I think I've done all of my admin now. There's a lot of links to remember these days, you know. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone in the comments who has been chatting away with us throughout this last hour or so. Thank you to you guys. Have a lovely weekend. Stay safe out there, and we will see you at the next live stream. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.